Listen to this track, bitch.
I feel like I'm dreaming. Somebody pinch me. I still can't believe it. I put my all in this and nothing came easy. I know God didn't bring me this far for no reason. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it, no. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe it, no.
Hey, what's happening, man? Welcome to the Magic Room. You already know what's going on. It's your girl, Misty, aka TampaMystic, and I'm here with the one and only. I'm in the house of Fresh with the man himself, D-Boy Fresh. Yeah, boy. Shout out Drumma Boy. What's happening?
What's good? I ain't even had to say my own ad-lib, you know what I'm saying?
I've been practicing.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just right on in there.
I've been practicing for a long time, so I just want to open up with saying, like, I really appreciate you. Since before I came to Atlanta, you've been rocking with me, and I really appreciate that. I went back and looked, and we did a mixtape together under my Industry's Most Wanted brand, probably like in 2013. It was the We Beneficial edition,
right.
A long time ago. And then ever since I come to Atlanta, you were coming out supporting my events, whatever I had going on. So I'm humbly grateful. I appreciate that.
For sure. You already know, man.
Hey,
Come
so.
through.
I just want to talk a little bit, man. Like, let's take it all the way back, though. Take it back to Lil Drumma Boy. You know what I'm saying? What was life like coming up? What was life like in Memphis for you?
Man, Lil Drum, man, my pop always practicing clarinet, you know what I mean? So there always be music in that aspect. Mama house, it was like Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, you know what I'm saying, the Temptations. So it's feel good, oldies but goodies. And then the streets of Memphis is just the streets of Memphis. You hear the blues if you're on Beale Street.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear 3-6 Mafia, Ballin' G, you know what I'm saying? Like Player Fly, Gangsta Black, like, you know what I mean? That was like the automatic, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a gumbo. Then you got Nashville when you go to TSU and Jackson State, you know what I'm saying? Like different events are going through the colleges up and through Nashville. Like it was so much country, but then it's like just different flavors of just musicians that kind of politic through Nashville and Memphis. So it's just all genres of music that was, growing up. So I always, started thinking like gumbo. Every time I started, even when I beginning level of making beats, it was always in the mindset of just gumbo, like a collage.
Right.
So
That's what's
speak.
up. Who did you listen to growing up? I know you named some of the people, that were kind of in that era, but like, who could we catch you listening to?
Listening to, as far as music, I would say like rap. Warren G, The Regulators was probably one of the first songs.
Shout out to Warren G. He was one of the first artists I ever interviewed. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, that was one of the first songs that I like learned word for word.
Right.
Probably like that. Gin and Juice, Snoop Dogg, you know what I mean?
You was kind of on the West
Doggy
Coast vibe
Style.
a little bit.
Yeah, a lot,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I was on the East Coast as well, like
Yeah.
Nas, you know what I'm saying, was one of my favorite artists. I would say the most I was listening to is Biggie, of course,
Right.
and Pop, you know what I'm saying? But on a South standpoint, Outkast, Ballin' G,
Right.
you know what I mean? And the Ghetto Boys.
So at what point did the transition to Atlanta come in?
And UGK.
Yeah, we can't forget about UGK.
What point what?
What point did the transition to Atlanta come in?
I think the transition to Atlanta was like after college, you know what I mean? Like I was in Memphis all the way up through college, and just back and forth through Atlanta. My uncle lived here, so probably 13, 14, I started coming to Atlanta, just visiting my uncle, hitting the skating rinks and whatnot. So through the skating rinks, you seeing what people want to dance to,
We
groove
was
to.
just talking about
you know
that.
what I'm saying? And it all goes back to the oldies but goodies, but then you would see the newer music and what style of music those DJs wanted to play, of course, in kid-friendly environments and whatnot. So, you know what I mean, as a DJ / producer, it was just like, you just paying attention. Like, your first day at school, at a new school, you just gonna be the fly on the wall.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You gotta take everything in you. It's a new environment for you.
Right. So you know what I'm saying, and that's actually what kept me coming back was just meeting different ladies. You know what I'm saying, throughout different skating rinks and whatnot. Just I gotta come back. You know what I mean?
was that spot for real.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm about to tell you my age because I'm a young OG. I used to come here for Freaknik back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I was young back then. Like, I was like probably 19, 20.
Right.
And I was like, yo, this is it.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I'm going to live in that city one day.
Yeah.
And
that's
here
crazy.
I am, man. Like,
Yeah.
this is such a great city.
Yeah.
Especially for what we do. When we involved in the music business, man, I think you have to be in a city like this because you're able to create opportunities.
For sure.
So at what point, I know you've done a lot in the music business. I want to talk about the production side of things because you've got some big hit records. Talk to us a little bit about like how making beats and producing and production became a focal point for you, and then maybe give us a couple of examples of like those big breakthrough records in the beginning for you.
I mean, making beats became a focal point strictly off my big brother. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Insane Wayne.
R.I.P. Insane Wayne.
Big bro kind of just showed me and had me around Slice T and Jazzy Faye and Carlos Brody, Paragon, like all the legendary producers, you know what I'm saying, 14, 15 years ahead of me. Me and my brother was 14 years apart. So, it put me in a whole different demographic just as far as OGs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm coming in at a price point of $2,500 just off the strength of my brother.
Word.
So when I did the 3 beats for Tila, which was like my first, I call that major label placement, which Rap a Lot, some people say is an independent, but I consider them a major label. That was
absolutely.
major to me.
Yeah.
So for me to get 3 songs, 3 placements on the Tila Double Dose album, $2,500 a beat.
That's a big deal.
You know what I mean? I'm 17, 18, about to, get into college. So it was just like a perfect time to just start making money and certifying my name in the game. And then came Bun B. Then came Scarface. I did a song for Scarface called Never. And that kind of put me on the New York and the sample radar. Like all the real crate diggers is like, oh, Drumma Boy digging crates, but he, you know what I mean? Like he ain't just making trap beats.
Absolutely.
And whatnot, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, That's What's Up. When you see me shout it, pop, you collar, then you holler. That's what's up. Huge song in the street. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of Memphis with Gotti, and that's what had Pastor Troy calling me like, man, we got to get with you. Make them get their money right. Make them get their money right. Pop that pussy. One of the biggest strip club songs. I'm 19, going on 20. I ain't even old enough to get in the strip club yet.
And you got strip club hits.
But we still in and up out of there. You know what I mean? Handling business. But, it's just a blessing, man, to just have, from there, Jeezy reach out, you know what I'm saying? And the Boys in the Hood situation, Block call out. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy goes solo. We do standing ovation. You know what I'm saying? Then we come with White Girl. Then we come with Shawty. Then we come with Money to Blow.
You got hits and plaques. I was admiring your plaque back there on the wall.
For sure.
Shout out to Jeezy, man.
Oh, really?
So I want to talk a little bit about, for up-and-coming producers, how important is it for them to be diverse when it comes to production, not just wanting to make trap beats, but venturing out, maybe doing R&B or possibly other types of genres?
I mean, it just helps me because it's like more different clientele and more diversity of business. You know what I mean? You're not just certified to red business or certified to blue business or certified to orange business. You know what I mean? And the more skill sets that you can put under your belt, I think is a tool for you to diversify yourself and produce for more people. So for instance, like if somebody from R&B called me, okay, we got that. Somebody from country called me, we got that. Jazz, orchestra, score, commercial, jingle, soundtrack. Like it's nothing musically we can't make.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and when you make something from scratch, it's like a chef.
Right, exactly.
And you say, I
you
want
whipping
this.
up from scratch.
Okay, whatever you say, you know what I mean? Just spin the wheel and just say a dish or say woo, and if that chef can't do it, then that to me ain't no chef. It's certain chefs that specialize in certain things, which I get, but you know what I mean? Somebody who really like call themselves that, like you're supposed to be, you wanna be able to
do
at
it
least
all.
have a team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And build a company where, okay, we got barbecue if you need that, we got cuisine if you need
you
that.
You got to cater to everybody.
Absolutely. And I think those are the smart people. So we got entourage of producers, songwriters, Deeper Roots Uniting Music. That's what Drum Squad stand for. So it's a root. it's a seed that was planted a long time ago that has blossomed to so many people that I've inspired to make beats, to songwrite, to produce, to manage, to co-write. Man, it's so many different titles in the business game that people not aware of. So people know me for the business.
Right.
People know me for the unification. Welcome to my city, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, unifying the city, getting the key to the city of Memphis. You know what I mean? And that philanthropy work that's really changing and motivating and inspiring kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not just talking about it, not just donating money and then I'm done with it. Okay, let me just donate some money.
Actually putting some action behind it.
Yeah, but it's time. These kids, the most important thing you can give them is I ain't gave you know what I'm saying? Half of the amount of money that I've given my time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's been much more effective. Yes, dollars do help and they help, pay the bills and this, that, and the third. But I think the most important thing you can give, if you haven't donated or you got an excuse why you haven't donated, I ain't got the money and this and that, donate some time.
Donate. It's more personal. And a lot of them, they don't have that. They don't have a father or mother or somebody that's spending that time with them. And kids need that.
For sure.
They need that love and attention. So let's talk about Drum Squad. That's a major brand. You know what I'm saying? You got Drum Squad DJs, of course. You got producers. How big does it venture out? And talk to us about how that brand became so big like it did.
Man, it was really just a squad of individuals that had the same mindset and the same goals and wanted to accomplish the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just production, just this music, this root that we gonna spread and just make everybody want to do this. You know what I mean? And I look at how many people make trap beats or how many people making beats because of me. Like, it's millions. I hear it from 100 producers a day. You know what I mean? So just that alone, knowing that I planted a seed that's growing into, you see it now, this tall tree. Or it's a whole farm of trees. Like, man, we got a little mini forest right here just of trap is a genre.
Right.
You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
it is.
Like that alone, like just the fact that how us as blacks, we say we built America. Like, okay, I can proudly say I'm one of the builders of trap.
Absolutely, you are.
You know what I mean? Like I laid bricks. You know what I mean? Yo Gotti, one of the first trap rappers I ever worked with. You know what I mean? Gotti, T.I. They both 39 years old. That's the first level of what we call, trap.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? From them artists, and then it kind of spilled into Gucci, Jeezy, and then it spilled into the next, and then it spilled into the next, until it spilled the next. Because before that, it was 3 6 Mafia, which was not trap. That was like crunk.
Right. Yeah, it was definitely different.
It was like get bucked, you know what I'm saying? Lock them in a trunk. You know what I mean? It was hypnotizing minds. It was trance. You know what I'm saying? And the booms and the 808s and all that, Lil Jon went crazy with crunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just took crunk to a whole nother level. And I think it's the same way like with trap, like Gotti, hands down, that's all he rap about.
And he's such a phenomenal
from
businessman too. Like, he puts a lot of people in a position to win. And of course I love his music, but I respect Gotti so much because he really helps other artists and puts them in a position to win and come up. And a lot of artists aren't doing that. And that's the same thing with you. You work, and I've seen you help so many people. And like you said, it's not always monetary. It's just, giving them your time. Shout out to the homie Kid.
For sure, absolutely, man. Welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home, Kid, man. He hit me up like soon as he got out, and he's like, I'm home. I was like, bro, that's good. We gotta link up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to see he's home and he's doing his thing.
For sure.
When it comes to artists that want to work with you, such as Kid, what quality would you? And I'm not talking about where they would come and sit down and pay you to make a cook up for them. I'm talking like if they want to personally work with you, what would it take?
I mean, with some people, it's like first and foremost, it's belief. You know what I mean? Like, you can see cats that don't believe in themselves.
Yes, they really don't want it.
So yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? You can go through a goal of activities, or you can go through a week or two or maybe a month and just kind of just scope. You know what I'm saying? What people say on Instagram, how they move, who they interact with, how they treat other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or even at a venue, when people come to our meet and greets or our showcases and whatnot, you got people who you know what I mean, don't take advantage of everybody in the room, or don't take advantage of networking.
Right.
Or you just want to talk to me. You just want me to just immediately take you on the elevator to where you need to go.
Right.
Like it's that easy.
It don't
you know
work
what I mean?
like
But they
that.
don't want to. I'm like, bro, do you see all these DJs in here? You an artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you talking about a beat, which you already got a song, you already got a singer. Why not work what you got so you can get some money, which you'll have to be able to invest in somebody
Facts.
like me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got the right idea, but they want to. A lot of people want to skip steps.
They want to skip those steps, yeah, and that kind of is going to lead into what I want to talk to you about next. One thing that I really learned about this business, you know, I'm going on about 10 years in this business. Shout out to OG Bigger Rankin, shout out to Kingpin. Those were the first guys that helped me out. And what I really learned was you can't skip the struggle. At some point in time within your career in this business or any business, you're going to struggle. It's not going to ever be easy.
Right.
What would you say is maybe like one of the biggest obstacles or struggles that you had to overcome coming up in your career?
Getting in the game. Like solidify myself, cause it's like at first it's like, oh man, that's insane, little bro. That's insane, little bro.
Right,
That's insane, little bro.
Yeah.
That's insane, little bro. Until niggas was like, nah, nigga, that's Drumma Boy. It got to a point where you ain't even know, oh yeah, that's y'all brother. Oh
Yeah,
y'all brothers.
yeah.
Oh damn, I ain't even. You know
That's
what I mean?
the goal, to make it like
so,
that.
you know what I mean? I had to, stand on my own. You know what I'm saying? And a kind of piggy off of what you were saying about, people want to skip the struggle. People want to skip the hustle.
They will, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like look at how many rappers then that you might not think can't rap. Or how many rappers that you just don't listen to, or how many rappers you wasn't a fan of at first and they grew on you, whatever.
Right.
But they hustled and they kept hitting you. I watched Gotti take his money to the radio. I'm putting it on the next single. Every single he dropped, man, I make sure I market it, I'm promoted. They gon' hear me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, the radio don't want to play me? I bet I'm gonna pay the radio promotion team. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to hear me.
That's right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, whoever the most lyrical, most talented artist, but they have no hustle.
Man,
so they
say
can't
that
get
again.
behind. They don't look up to par.
Right.
You know
exactly.
What I mean? So for one, you a little dusty. You need to polish up, shade, get. You know what I mean? You need a barber. You need that mojo.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, that's even one step. Your mojo. That's one thing. Then okay, your character. You know what I mean? Showing up on time. If you got a session with somebody,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Damn, you're gonna be later. Oh, bro, I ain't even. Bro, I
full of excuses.
You know what I mean? It's been artists who, man, I done worked with, never even got in the booth.
Because they so
spent 3
late.
days on studio, but you spending your money on studio time.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, bro, you ain't even get in the booth, bro.
Yes,
you know
exactly. What I mean? They can't expect us to take them seriously if they don't act like a professional.
As opposed to a Gucci Mane, when we get in the studio, we do 12 songs a day
Word.
or 12 songs in 6 hours.
Absolutely.
As opposed to a Tupac who did song after song after song after song after song, who wanted so hard, who gonna hustle and get the bag however he needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least his music got out.
Absolutely.
At least his music was heard. You know what I mean? At least he told his story. Like, man, you gotta capture the moment and not be one of them niggas that, oh man, I'm finna, man, but by next year, bro, I'm a.
Right. They always have an excuse, and they say they're gonna do it tomorrow. They're gonna do it next week, and it never gets done.
You right. Real,
and leave
bro,
it right there.
Yeah, bro, you right. And
they gonna waste your time.
Yeah, look yourself in the mirror, man, and get about that action, man. Look yourself in the mirror, wake up, hey, bro, I'm finna do this today. And everything I say I'm gonna do, it gets done. Once you do that 21 days in a row, bro, it's a habit.
It becomes a habit.
You know what I mean?
Especially during a time like, we've been in a pandemic situation where a lot of stuff is closed. If this didn't bring the hustler out in somebody, they just don't have it. This should be the time where everything that you've been putting off, this should have been the time that you pushed forward and made it happen.
I just think Memphis so much, like where I'm from, like how I was raised, how I was brought up, like, and it's just the importance of like the hustle. You know what I mean? And how hard, like that's probably like that's every part of my mama's life. Like that's the one thing she the glue to so many different components and did so many things. Like it was the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She sewing her own clothes in college just to have some money, man. She was going to University of Memphis when it was Memphis State, and they had the black section and the white section. for color.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Getting water hose down and shit. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Like she was the first African American to get a music degree out of Memphis State. You know what I mean? And then that's how she met my pop. And it's crazy. Like just like she would always say, bro, you can make it in Memphis, you can make it anywhere. Cause it's the city that was loved, that's known to hate, like that was branded in your mind for so long. So you just know somebody finna hate. And then we checking kings, so you finna get a joking or checking or joning or cracking or whatever y'all say, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you don't wanna break, hey brother, hey, I know you ain't finna come over here with that breath, bro. Goddamn, oh, you need a trash bag mouth. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to, you know, you built tough.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like some of the shit that artists or producers complain about, or just people in general. Somebody at your job, you know, complain all the time. They got everything they can possibly imagine and want and have. Here it is, you got this one camera and this other camera, and you did a whole motherfucking movie. This nigga got a red talking about, man, my back. This and that, and complaining about doing his job and shit. Like,
always
you know what I mean?
complaining about something.
So you definitely gotta have the passion. That's another part of the pieces to the puzzle. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about the House of Fresh. Let's talk about Fresh Family. I want to personally again thank you. You've blessed me with snapbacks and shirts and a jacket, which I still have. I appreciate that. You were like, pull up on me. I pulled up on you, and you were in a studio session. I can never forget. You was in the studio with Trinidad James. Y'all was in there working, and you had a whole pack for me. I appreciate that.
For sure.
And now you got a beautiful store, man, right here, like in the heart of Atlanta.
Yeah.
The House of Fresh. You know, what made you decide that you wanted to put this together?
Oh, man, my first job was just for feet, selling shoes, you know what I mean? And it was like, they put me in the combat zone where you was selling like the $20, $10, the Bobos. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, shit, you do good up here, you can make it to the shoe deck. Anybody can sell some Jordans and Air Max and
facts.
shit like that.
They sell themselves, really.
Right. So, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, bet. Within a week, like, all of the kids was hating me because they're like, man, you got my mama to make me buy these Jordans. I was like, man, what y'all going back there? I'll be talking to the mamas. I ain't talking to the kids. I'm talking to the mamas. You want to save that money.
Right,
save your money. You don't want to buy them $120 shoe. You can buy this $30 shoe. He looking at me, man.
Right. Stop trying to talk to my mama.
You know what I'm saying? But I got out the shoe deck. You know, I got on the shoe deck within a week. You know what I'm saying? And just that method of bonuses and incentives and, you know what I'm saying, just the extra hustle. You know what I'm saying? My mom was diagnosed with diabetes, you know what I'm saying, like 13, 14, so she stopped cooking. You know what I mean? My mom, dad divorced when they had me, so I was back and forth different houses. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like really me. You know what I'm saying? She don't come home to 7, 8. You know what I mean? I was like, man, I gotta make all the money I can get. I'm cutting grass on the weekends. I'm selling shoes, whatnot. And just them memories of like just having the plug on the shoes, having the plug on the clothes, and just seeing smiles and how it made people feel, it reminded me of music.
Facts.
It's like when people hear your music and they chanting and screaming and dancing and whatnot, and then you see somebody walk out the House of Fresh or like go post on Instagram with their clothes like, boy, I'm dripped up.
Yeah, y'all do a great job of that too.
Man, like just to see somebody excited like that for on clothes or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? And people will always be asking me, where you get that from? Because so many different clothing brands were sponsoring me since 18, 19,
right.
Aniche, Parrish, Pelly.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Tony Shellman. Like, it's so many like top guys who was believing in me from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Sean John, 3-piece suits. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Puff. Like, there's so many people. You know what I'm saying? LRG, even Drumma with they brand in LA. I forget the name of the brand. Young and Reckless.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I was just getting so many clothes, and people always be like, man, where you get that from? Where you get that from?
You're
where
like,
you get that from?
I need a whole house to put this stuff in.
I'm the plug. And once I started my line, you know, I learned so much about the business and, you know, the vendors and going to the different trade shows and whatnot. And it kind of just gave me the game to be like, man, why don't I just sell all my homie shit too?
Right, exactly.
These my niggas, like, tip, I got a store.
Facts.
Such and such, you know what I'm saying? Push it. I need to play clothes, whatever. And then it just started growing, you know what I'm saying? And then MCM reached out, you know what I mean? Other bigger brands started reaching out. Jordan, shout out to Reggie Sanders.
That's
like
crazy. You got a nice store too.
Absolutely.
So I get asked this a lot because I get a lot of artists that have their independent clothing lines and stuff like that. Some of them are up to par. Some of them have work. They ask about getting into the Atlanta market. What would it take for like an independent clothing line or brand to make it into your store?
Most of the time on new brands, we tell them to do a pop-up, which usually run you like $2,500.
Okay.
And we put $500 towards PR. We put another $500 on radio ads.
Okay, yeah.
So it's gonna pump up the brand, your brand, and the money that you make from your event on your merch is your money.
That's dope.
So a lot of the brands that have a business model or a business sense, they see that benefit. You know what I mean? And at least they're at a level where they got enough merch. If they sell out, they can still take orders or whatever, get those orders shipped out in a timely fashion. So we want to work with professionals. You know what I mean? It's not just like, okay, you're black. I'm a support all the black up and coming clothing lines. Like, it still gotta be professional, business savvy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And it's gotta be a good brand too. Like, it's gotta, you don't want it's gotta make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You don't want to just throw anything up in here. You don't want them to go to Walmart and just press their brand on a bunch of Walmart shirts. Like, it's gotta be official.
Right.
Because we being official.
I gotta be able to wear it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's at the end of the day, I think it's like, if I can wear it, and my boy Harry, if he can put it on and he approved, like, it's certain cats that I know, you know what I'm saying, like, of that feather.
Yeah.
From a fashion end, from an ear end, people gonna respect my ear. People respect my fashion. You know what I mean? And it's simple as that.
So I do want to talk a little bit about your brother. Shout out to R.I.P. Insane Wayne. He was one of the most humble guys I ever had the opportunity to meet. Was always just, every time I was in his presence, the energy was good. I remember you and I had hosted kids listening party together, and your brother was there that night. And, it's just always good vibes. And his life was taken very senselessly here. Talk to us a little bit about that. Like, losing a loved one, especially tragically, I can't imagine. I lost my sister, but, she passed because of health issues. But, you lost him suddenly and tragically. What's it been like since that happened?
It's been a rebuild, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy how much of my life, like, I was big on autobiographies because of my pop. You know what I'm saying? And that was just homework my dad would make me do. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, W.E.B. Du Bois, like, just reading the autobiographies, Michael Jordan. And just seeing how Jordan handled certain things that he was going through in his life, even like losing his father. You know what I mean? And like how he lost his father, why he lost his father, like even the in depth of that. And this was your father. For me, this was somebody who I look up to. This is my first inspiration. This the first nigga I wanted to dress like. This the first person I wanted to be like. You know what I mean? So, it's like, it's almost like a checkpoint. You at a Y. You come to a not necessarily a crossroad, but a splitting point. You got to pick which route to take. And for me, it was to take off from my career and to put into my family and make sure Jordan, Selena, Devin, Raven, the kids is straight and they kids is straight.
Right.
You know what I mean? So 4 kids, 3 grandbabies. That was first and foremost. You know what I mean? It's like, where we gonna get, just a whole bunch of stuff like finances for funeral and this and that, estate and lawyer fees and a whole bunch. So, you know what I mean? The fact that, like, I mean, it's just like massive appreciation, not only from the family, but from the friends and just, you know what I mean? Like, that's what kind of keeps me moving, that it, like, everything was handled the way it was supposed to be handled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it got me to drop a project before I go and do something else.
Right.
So I was like, let me put my energy into how I feel and capturing how I feel with my Brother's Keeper album. You know what I mean? So I just took a year off. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see Michael Jordan, like, retire. Like, let me just, you know what I'm saying?
Step back for a minute.
I mean? Step back for a minute and just vent to the world. Let me just share with y'all what's going on, because I really couldn't talk to too many people, so I just locked myself in the studio. And who saw me is like my people. If you saw me during that time, you probably one of my people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I put that project out, My Brother's Keeper, and like kids good, family good. I'm straight, and I think it was like for him to see 49 years of his life. I think he left me. It's almost like the torch. It's like I could feel me
Absolutely.
grabbing the torch. You know what I'm saying? In a sense of responsibility as a man. You know what I mean? And a lot of things and ways that I wish I was then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How I am now.
You carried it over, and you're
know
applying
what I
it
mean?
now. What you learned from him growing up.
Right. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of parts of me now, just how better I communicate and how better I take advantage of the people around me and tell them, bro, I love you, dog. Bro, I appreciate you, man. Like, you know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Because tomorrow ain't promised, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of just rebirthed me in a sense of watering those who are still here.
Absolutely.
Through music, through fashion, through conversation. If you catch me, I might end up talking to your ass for a whole hour, 2 hours. Like, you know what I mean? Whoever it is, random. I was talking to a junkie for 30 minutes last night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just crazy how you appreciate life more.
Absolutely.
Once you lose somebody just so dear to you. You know what I mean? So it's 96 MJ right now. You know what I'm saying? It's 96 MJ. I'm back for a chip. I'm back for a championship.
in same way, man. And I'm you know, it's like it's tough to get through times like that. You know, again, you know, I've experienced losing my sister. She was very close to me, but I understand what you're saying because it made me a better person. I want to take better care of myself, and I want to do certain things. And you do have to let the people know that, you know, that are around you love them more often, because the only thing that we're guaranteed in life is our clock will expire at some point in time.
Exactly.
That's the only thing we're guaranteed.
And then just let it out, because the more you let out, the less you build up.
That's right. Exactly. Right.
And when, you know, certain people, man, they just like some walking time bombs. They one push or one, you step on their shoe or you bump them in the wrong, they one step away from killing somebody.
Because they hold it all
or,
in.
You know what I'm saying? And they ain't got nobody to let it out to. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or to let it out with. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, talk to people. You know what I'm saying? And man, it was one guy, he didn't even want to talk, but he ended up talking about it. Like, bro, you can talk, bro. I don't know you, but
you've got that gift about you.
You know what I'm saying?
Though. You know what I'm saying? Like you were the type of person, you just have the energy. Like I said, as long as I've known you for many, many, many years, like you've always just been such a humble guy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are at your level or even not even at your level. You can't even speak to them.
Right.
And I understand it comes to a point in time where you can't make yourself too accessible. But you still want to be in tune with the people. And I think that's...
But me talking to this guy for an hour, that might have changed my life.
Absolutely,
or
right.
Or put me back on the right time schedule. It's like a time warp. You could be on the wrong time.
Yes.
And then this person, you just rushing trying to, hey, man, I'll holler at you later. But you really need to... What he trying to do is save your life.
Exactly, because something could
like,
happen.
What you got to say? And he's like, man, you ever thought about this? You ever thought about that?
That's right.
Bam, and then this conversation turned into something else, and then next thing you know, you just, like, everything else. You know what I mean? The more you let out, the more you smooth and in the flow, in rhythm.
Absolutely.
Like, rhythm don't make you frown and do this. Rhythm is like, smile. When you get in a rhythm, you think about whatever it is you was doing. When you get in a rhythm, whether you fucking or whether you was eating or you get in the rhythm, whatever that rhythm is, when you get into it, when has it ever been a frown?
That's right. Absolutely.
How can you get in rhythm and then start frowning?
Yeah, there's
you know
something wrong with you if you do.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the wrong rhythm.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about getting in rhythm, and with that you have flow.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can't question it. Like it's funny because I adopted that mentality a very long time ago. Like, if something happens and it slows me down or pulls me back, I don't question it because it happened for a reason. That to me is God saying you weren't meant to go right then because something bad could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pull you back for a minute. It's not your time. So
Facts.
we can't question it.
Facts.
Lastly, I want to talk to you about this new song that you got out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rez Deshawn. Like, talk to us, man.
Already, man. Shout out to Steve LaBelle for reaching out. I went in with Scott Storch while I was in L.A., and we just, politicking about, man, how me and Scott should work, blah, blah, blah. And he made it happen, put it together. I ended up doing a 2-day session with Scott Storch back to back. And we did like maybe 11, 12 tracks, just really zoning in, making sure we got quality material. And Derez came through the second day and we killed it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's I still can't believe how it happened, like for real, like, you know what I mean? My boy JaVale McGee called me. He was like, man, what you doing today? I see you out in L.A. You know, he make beats. So I was like, man, I'm actually on the way to Scott Storch house. He was like, man, you mind if I come with you? So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to JaVale McGee. It was just like, just good energy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes I trip off of, like, not necessarily who I know, but like, dog, all these folks my friends, bro.
Yeah. People
like JaVale McGee, my nigga, like, bro, like, this, you know what I'm saying? Penny Hardaway, I get my Hardaways from Hardaway,
yeah.
bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still can't believe it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was that energy. Like, that's how I felt when I made the beat.
That's so dope.
You know what I'm saying? And Scott playing the keys and whatnot. So it's crazy, like, how an emotion, how you genuinely feel,
yeah,
can be transformed like Street Fighter, and you take that ball of energy that's inside and turn it into a Hadouken. It's crazy. Like, that's how I feel. Like, still can't believe it is. It's like, you know what I'm saying? 96 MJ, bro. We here to win a chip.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Drumma Boy Friends, the album is on the way. Man, I just talked to Jeremiah today.
Y'all heard it.
Luda today. Rocco. Man, we closing in. I say I'm about 75% done. Shout out to Chameleon. You know what I'm saying? I love putting on the female artist.
Shout out to Chameleon,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? She going hard.
She's went way up.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Juicy Fruit, right out of Memphis. She going all the way up. Shout out to Akbar. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
going all the way
yeah.
up, man. I gotta thank Suki Hana for blessing my Brother's Keeper album. I gotta thank Asian, the doll. I gotta thank Amaretta for blessing my Brother's Keeper album. So, you know what I'm saying? Drumma Boy and Friends on the way though, man. This winter.
Facts. And make sure you guys check out the Still Can't Believe It.
Yep.
It's out on all digital platforms with Derez Deshawn.
Yep.
Is there anything else you got coming up that, you know, you want to maybe leak a little bit? If not, y'all just going to stay tuned.
Check out the Rolling Loud. We just went on Rolling Loud. I played a few records. I got a record with Dolphin Gucci. I got a record with Ro James. We got a record with Chris Brown, Trey Songz, you know what I'm saying?
James to me is, you know, it's funny. I was just having a conversation with him about him recently. I think he's such a phenomenal artist who just hasn't got his proper shine yet. Mm-hmm. He's such a dope artist. Like, everything he puts out to me is a hit.
Yep.
So I'm glad that you guys are working together because, you know,
sure.
that's going to really give him that shine he deserves.
Yeah,
Shout out to Ro James, man.
Absolutely.
Last question I got for you. Yeah, boy. Where did that come from?
Just crunk. I was doing a verse for Gangsta Boo, and I actually put the Yeah Boys through my whole verse.
Okay.
And everybody was like, man, that shit so hard. I don't even think we put that song out. It might have dropped. I can't remember what song that was, but that was definitely in the Gangsta Boo session. Shout out to my sister, Gangsta Boo.
Hey, shout out Gangsta Boo.
Hey, man, say, man.
That's what's up, man. Hey, once again, thank you everybody tuned in to the Magic Room. I am here at the House of Fresh with my family. We too fresh family.
You already
know
know
what I'm saying?
What time it is, man. In the house, we drum.
Hey.
Bow, bow.